Hello lovely people, this is Nicola back in the Stitches and Slapdashery sewing room. As usual, it's looking a little chaotic in here because I've been sewing again. It's a good day for sewing. I went for a nice long walk this morning and I got a little bit damp. The forecast said 6% of rain, 6% probability of precipitation, and it rained. And I even took out my crochet with me so that I could hook while I was on my way around. I got a little bit wet. I'm really glad of this wet weather, really, this spring. Believe me. But couldn't the rain have just waited like an extra hour before it decided to fall? Oh well. So I am having a fun afternoon of sewing. And I'm not being sarcastic this time. I actually had a much more successful sewing session today than I have had sometimes in the past. So we'll skip to the thing I made today and then I'll show you the things I made a couple of days ago. So you'll remember and I should get it, the bag I made the other day. I'm thinking if I can make one sort of handbag type thing, sling bag, whatever, something a day in between my markets, and I've always got something fresh. Maybe not every day, maybe every weekday, because at the moment I've got all this spare time and it'd be nice to have fresh things to have on the stall every weekend so it doesn't always look the same. Hold on, I'm going to grab the other one. So the bag I made the other day, I've already stuck a little price tag on it, but I made this one. The tutorial was from Heart Crafting, IRE Heart Crafting, and it's called something like a DIY jean sling bag or something. Now, I did not use jeans denim for this. I used a piece of denim yardage. I used my lovely rainbow zipper, my continuous zipper, which came in a 10-yard package, and it came with crackly bags full of pullers. So I think that the standard pullers that came with the zipper were maybe the silver ones, and I got my friend to order me some black as well, I think, because one pack of pullers is never enough for a pack of continuous zipper tape, because you quite often cut fairly short lengths, and so you don't want to have lots of tape left once your pullers have run out. I know I can order more, but you know, I got them ahead of time. So on this guy, I used silver zip pulls with my rainbow zipper and a really boring grey lining. And I did not make the strap adjustable. I just followed the tutorial to measure yourself. Threads. There's threads hanging off my strap. Excuse me while I snip that off. Oh, I've just noticed something. The thread must have run out. The bobbin must have run out when I was doing this, because there's a whole lot of this strap that doesn't have top stitching on that side. So this side is all top stitched, and the top stitching finishes right up here on this one. Oh my gosh, just as well I looked at it again, isn't it? Well, I can add that. I'll go back and add that after I finish talking to you guys. What a duh. Anyway, you already saw this bag last time. I put a $30 price tag on it. $30 is the highest price I'll put on anything right now. So any of my hobo bags or the lined totes or these sort of one-off sling bag things, I'm sticking with 30. I was originally only going to go for $25, but you know, these things take a long time to make. And the hardware is not cheap and all that. So today I made another one. I added tabs to both sides of the zipper this time. So I made this one out of black jeans. So this one is upcycled denim. And even though I added tabs to both sides of the zipper, it just got sucked right into the seam here. Because of this angle, I guess I miscalculated it a little bit, but it looks fine. And as you can see, because I used the very top of the leg for these main parts because they're quite wide. So for this bit, I ended up cutting over a seam to include that in the front pocket. But I trimmed a little bit of the bulk out behind here when I folded it to put the zipper in. And I put a fun lining in this one. It's got, why don't I just pull it right out? It's got lots of lovely colours on it. It's got butterflies and masks and turquoises and oranges. So it's really colourful, but still got that sort of a black theme. And at this time, I've got a different strap. Again, I used the black pullers on this one because we're going for the black theme here. I used black webbing. It was in a pack of stuff that I was given for free. And so the strap is adjustable. And I've just noticed something. It looks like I've put it on back to front. I thought I was really careful to put it on the way I thought it was supposed to go, and it's upside down. Oh man. Okay, I think I can flip it around. I think I can flip it around in here. Oh. Duh, twice. Oh man. So yeah, I had only a 1-inch plastic D-ring, but I didn't want to go silver because it wouldn't have gone with anything. So I made a denim tab for the bottom, put a black 1-inch D-ring on it. This is a 1 1/4-inch strap, but no one's going to say, oh look, the strap is 1 1/4 inches and the D-ring tab is only 1 inch. Or the D-ring. So I was pretty pleased with that because I'd made it once before. It was a lot quicker. But obviously I've still made a stupid mistake on there. I hope I can turn this around. All right, I'm going to pause you and try and turn it around. I've saved the day. Oh, I was able to turn it around inside the clip and in here. Oh, I'm so glad I didn't have to sew that again. Whilst this is a really nice slimline bag, it does feel a little bit squishy because of the fusible fleece, so it's rather nice. I'm not sure about having this so far down compared to this angled corner, but it looks exactly like the way that the designer has hers. She did a denim strap and hers came out exactly like mine with it right at the bottom. And even though I was thinking when I finished it how it might look better right here, still looks like hers, and I think it'll be fine. All right. Oh, wait a second. The day might not be saved after all. This has got a twist in it now. Oh, it's got a twist in it. Okay, I think what I might have to do is I'll cut this off, this middle part here. I'll turn it and I'll put it through and I'll resew it. Oh boy. So that's 2 more bits of sewing to do on 2 bags that I thought I'd already finished. Oh joy. Oh, I got a really interesting contraption in the mail the other day. Look at this thing. Isn't it weird? You basically put it round your neck and you snap it on like that. Sorry, it's hitting my microphone. And it means I can put my phone in there, and so I can do like a point of view bit of filming. If I'm crocheting or something, I can film my crochet or my knitting as I'm doing it, because I'll be hands-free. Isn't that fun? Now I've got to remember how to take it off again. Oh, there we go. It looks really, really complicated because the main attachment is for a GoPro and then the extra bit is for the phone. But yeah, it works. I'll have to experiment with that, see if I can get some good filming opportunities out of that. All right, now that those sling bags have totally wound me up with their annoying little quirks, I'll show you what I made the other day. So I know a lot of people thought I was crazy for cutting up a lot of 2-inch squares recently. I think I thought I was a little bit crazy too. But I pulled out the Ziploc bag and I sorted some out. I sorted 2 piles out, like a lights and a darks, and I sewed some of the lights into a little patchwork bit of fabric, and I made a zipper pouch. So these 2-inch squares are probably about 1¼ inches finished now because of the seams. I put 2 itty bitty little tabs on there using 2 more of the squares, a pink zipper, 2 more tabs, 2 more itty bitty squares. Although look how my tabs do not match. I'll put them side by side and you can tell me, is that a slapdash or what? This tab is bigger than this one, even though I thought I had centered my zipper perfectly. Oh well. That one's got the grey, the boring grey lining. Anyway, it's going to go on the market stall on Sunday. I have a basket of miscellaneous zipper pouches, all priced at $12. It'll go in with those. And finally, for now, I made another jeans bag. I had some white jeans or off-white jeans, and I didn't know what I was going to use them for, but I had the whole pair. So what I ended up doing is making a crossbody bag with it. So this bag, it has the bits from the butt. So I just cut rectangles out with the 2 back pockets. So the back and front look exactly the same, because this is one of the back pockets and this is the other back pocket. And so I made them like that. And then for the top part, I had to unpick a couple of the belt loops so they were out of my way. And I trimmed just about 1/2 inch above that seam there. So I had enough fabric to seam it together without having to sew through the bulk of that flat felled seam. And I sewed the strap and I made it adjustable. So it's got the bronze colored slider and rectangle ring on there, and I sewed the other side right in. So it can be adjusted. So 2 functional pockets on the outside, and then I put the bronze colored magnetic snap-on. I used upholstery fabric for the lining, and I put a slip pocket on that side and a zipper pocket inset on the lining on that side, and I used the zipper from the jeans. I unpicked the zipper out of the jeans. Never a nice job. So fiddly. Now, I would give this bag a 9 out of 10 because I was mostly happy with it. The only thing I think I should have been more cautious about was cutting the squares out to box the bottoms, because I cut 2.5 inch squares out of my bottoms, and it made a very, very boxy base. To me, front to back, that is too much. Compared to, like, if you compare it to the pocket here, it would have been better if maybe the bag had come down out here somewhere. So maybe a 2-inch cut would have done it, but 2.5 was too much. But I'll be putting that on the table on Sunday anyway. Someone might love it. It doesn't have a lot of bling. It's quite neutral. I see a lot of bags in the denim upcycling group and other places where people have gone all out, and they've been really creative. They've been really creative on embellishing their bags, but I'm just not sure how many people want to have the full embellished, blingy sort of bag compared to a more neutral, practical sort of bag that goes with more outfits. I'm not sure. And I won't really know until, sales start ramping up and I actually see what people are buying. Fingers crossed. So before I go upstairs and start making dinner, you know what I've got to do, right? I've got to finish top stitching that strap, and I've got to mess around with that webbing. I brought my crochet out with me today while I was walking. I did check the forecast before I came out. You probably can't tell. The sky is really grey right now. And it rained on me, even though the forecast said it was only 6% chance of rain today. And the sun was out when I left the house. How sucky is that? I do appreciate the rain, but I was hoping not to get wet while I was out walking. My new shoes are going to get mucky. Definitely a mixed bag of weather today. Sun is out, but who knows for how long. Last night we had a thunderstorm with sleet, and it went down to 8 degrees. It was freezing. I don't have my microphone. No. What am I saying? Well, I am wearing my crossback apron today that I made out of this super expensive upholstery fabric a while back, because I have black skinny jeans and a black t-shirt on to go out to lunch. And of course, you know I'm going to get covered in threads sitting down here, right? So it's a few days later from that last segment I filmed at the beginning. Since I filmed that, I have finished the little cotton t-shirt. It's come out pretty wide. I don't think it's a 1-year-old size at all. It's probably more like a 2-year-old size. And I have no idea if the length is proportionate to a child's body. The neckline looks pretty huge, but then kids' heads are huge, aren't they? So hopefully it'll fit somebody at some point in time. So that yarn was Scheepjes Softfun, a whole bunch of minis that I bought a couple of years ago, and I just striped them and had a lot of fun weaving in a cajillion ends. But then I always have something to watch when I'm weaving in ends. I can't remember what I was watching last night, but I did try out that gizmo that I showed you earlier. This gizmo here to hold my phone around my neck. It was evening and I had lamps on and I tried to make it brighter because it seemed a bit dim. Sorry, had to pause for a sneeze. And I did get a bit of film, but I don't think it's going to be usable because the light was really bad. The camera wasn't focusing properly and it was really glary. So you don't get to see me putting the last stitches into it, but hey, it's done. It took about 90 grams of yarn in the end. And so I have quite a lot of scraps left. And I'm thinking I should make some sort of fun toy with that, but I don't know what yet. We'll see about that. So I'm right in the middle of making a tote bag. At the moment, I'm at the point where I have made the exterior. It's funny, I don't know whether I had seen this tutorial and then I dreamt about it, or if I dreamt about it and then saw the tutorial. But the channel is Sister Quilt and I do subscribe to her. And I was thinking the other day, I really wanted to use different colors of denim to make a patchwork bag, which was a good sized tote with a recessed zipper that wasn't closed in at the end. And the next day, literally the next day, I found that one on her channel. So it was very fortuitous. So at the moment, I'm at the point where the exterior is done and I picked a whole bunch of my denim bits and pieces in different shades of blue. I did try and make sure that they were either non-stretchy or minimally stretchy, but just in case, I've fused fusible fleece to the back on there, thermolam. So this is going to be, the most expensive part of this bag is going to be the thermolam. I haven't even decided what the lining is going to be yet. I've just done the exterior. I've also got my zipper cut and ready, of course, my rainbow zipper. And I've got the pieces cut for the recessed zipper panel. And then it was getting to 9 o'clock last night and I decided to take a break and go upstairs. So I'd like to finish that today, but I am, as I say, heading out for lunch with some friends later. And I also have to stop by, so exciting, the recycling depot. So I do have to watch the time. I did pick up some fabric on a good deal not long ago. This fabric here, it has the sewing print. So I was in the fabric store and they said, oh, did you know that $64 a meter upholstery fabric's gone in the bargain center? And I'm like, oh, interesting. So I went and had a look, and some of them are Christmas prints, which I'm not interested in, and some of them are sewing prints. And I decided to get this one. So it's very similar to this one. This one just has larger motifs on it. This one has a lot of smaller stuff, so I feel like it maybe is a bit more usable. And I got 3 meters of it because it was only $5 a meter. Can't go wrong. I'd have been losing money if I didn't buy it, right? So I'm really excited about that. But if I want to make a bag with a zipper in it, I think the rainbow zipper is not going to work with that. So I have a plan. I have an arrangement with my friend Jane, who is willing to trade me some of my rainbow zipper for some of her beige background zipper. So a beige background with a neutral like silver teeth or bronze teeth. I'm not sure what she's got, but it would definitely coordinate better with that. So when I've decided on something to make with this, we'll do the deal. I also bought this 3.5 meters of pink fleece. I don't know if I've mentioned this before on a previous vlog. I may have done, but the festival I'm involved with that's happening in September, the logo is a little pig riding a carrot. And I volunteered to not only make but also wear a fleece onesie for the day. And I'm really hoping it's not a hot day or I will just die inside. However, I bought 3.5 meters of this. It was half price. The slightly annoying thing was a few days later, they put a coupon out for 15% off, and I could have saved myself a bit of extra money as well. But oh well, nothing I can do about that. So I'm ready to sew this, and at some point I'm going to have to do that. Of course, it doesn't need to be ready until September, so it's not like there's a rush. But I know me. If I procrastinate about it, it won't get done till the last minute. If it weren't for the last minute, nothing would ever get done. That's the saying. So here's my 3.5 meters. It should be stacks to make me a onesie. It's not the sort of color I would normally want to wear, but it was an appropriate shade, shall we say. I might have to get myself some ears to wear on the day as well. Maybe I could figure out making some. There was one year at work I dressed up as a sort of Hello Kitty character, and I found a hairband, just a little plastic hairband, but with plastic ears built in at the dollar store. And so I took off what it had on it and I crocheted some little ears to be cat ears. Now, if I know where that is, or if I can find another one at the dollar store, I could crochet myself some pig ears, couldn't I? Or sew them out of the fleece. That would probably be pretty easy. Not sure. So that's everything for now. You might notice my hair's changed since the last segment. The hot pink that I put on top of the bluey green went purpley and it was fading fast. And so last night I threw some of the blue green and the hot pink on because I like to have unicorn hair. Two-tone hair is much more interesting than one tone, isn't it? So that's all nice and fresh for the weekend. So let's get on with some sewing. If you want to make this bag, here's a warning for you. You're going to be going through a lot of layers around the top here. I've got 4 layers for the handle. I've got a layer for the outer of the bag, a layer of lining, and 2 layers of denim for my zipper panel plus interfacing. Definitely use a jeans needle and go slow over the thick bits. I'm kind of dreading this part. The lining's in. I haven't sewn up the gap in the lining yet, but I've clipped around the top here, and you have to sew top stitch this top part and incorporate the recessed zipper panel down inside the bag, and there are some big lumps in there. Wish me luck. Well, that was quite the sewing session. I came back down this evening to finish off the bag, get the lining done. I sewed the lining, sewed the pocket for the lining and attached it, and assembled the bag. There's a lot of layers around the top of this bag. I've seen other recessed zippers where the zipper's been put in a seam a little bit down from the top. So the lining comes up and then you've got another little strip of fabric above it. And so you don't have that bulk right at the top edge of the bag. You don't learn this until you really do it, you know? So I didn't film that last bit of me top stitching this because it was a struggle. And I didn't swear, but I felt like swearing. Most of it's okay. What did I do? I did a 4 stitch, a length of 4, and I lined my foot up with the edge of the fabric but moved my needle over to the left, so it was avoiding sewing through the worst of the bulk. But where these seams here of the ends of the zipper panels hit, I was having to manually advance my machine with the wheel on the side, and even then sometimes it wasn't going through and I was having to manually advance the fabric as well. And I've seen a couple of people use cardboard or something behind the foot. I do have one of these hump jumper, but with I've got another one here. When I've got a walking foot on, there's no room underneath this to put the hump jumper. With a regular foot, you can put the hump jumper right behind the foot with this either side of the needle. You can sew up to a hump, you flip it to the front, and then you carry on sewing. I can do it on the front, but I can't do it on the back. So I was using a highly technical piece of cardboard to try and help with that, and it did help a bit. But where these really lumpy bits are, in the 4 spots where the top stitching was at its thickest, there's a little bit of a, 3 out of the 4 spots, not all of them, but there's a really loose stitch there. It kind of jumps downhill or jumps uphill. And I was going to try and fix that with the machine, but then it would have shown on the other side. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread a hand sewing needle and just reinforce those spots there because they look a little loosey-goosey. So I used a dark blue linen look fabric for the lining. It's just a quilt cotton. It's kind of light, but that's okay. It's not going to be under a lot of strain in there. I think she puts pockets on both sides of her bag. I just put the pocket on one side. I didn't want to use tons and tons of lining fabric. So even though there's the fusible fleece in there. When I stand the bag up, it is a little bit crumply. I know you can't really see that, but it's a little bit crumply. I thought it would have a bit more structure than that, being made of denim and having that fusible fleece in there. But I think it might be because this top section is so damn heavy. So I'd say if you've got an industrial machine, you're going to be laughing because you'll just sail through that. But with a domestic, maybe use a thinner fabric. I don't know, or a thinner denim at least. Because I went for a really sturdy denim on this part because it was a non-stretch and I thought it would be perfect, but it was definitely a battle. So that's done, at least. You can probably tell it's getting dark outside my window there. I guess it must be around 9 o'clock. I am covered in threads. I had lunch out and I had fries, and I don't eat fries very often, and I'm actually eating a fairly low-fat diet right now. So, of course, having something like a plate of fries was probably not the best idea, but there weren't a lot of choices on the menu for me. So when I got home, I was getting the snackies, and I don't know why. I think it was because the 3 friends I was with, they had tiramisu for dessert, and they shared this massive piece of tiramisu with whipped cream and everything on it. And I think maybe that's why I had a little bit of a craving for something sweet when I got home. So I had a hot chocolate, and then I had a couple of bits of toast. So after that, I had to make dinner, and then we went for a walk, and I was wiped, and I thought, do I have the energy to come down here and finish this bag? And I thought, oh, if I finish it, I can put it on my market table tomorrow. And I didn't want to rush it or anything. I didn't rush it, but it's done now, except for just adding a couple of stitches right on those corners where it's all a little bit loose. My car is loaded for the morning. Probably leave here around 7:30. I think that's the time I left last week, and it worked out fine. Gives me lots of time to set up my table because we have to have our stuff unloaded and our cars parked by 8:45, and the market starts at 10. I think I had everything set up by 9:15 last week. Definitely going to take a thermos of coffee tomorrow, because if I buy a coffee for $5.60 from the lovely food truck guy across the aisle from me every week, that's going to cut into whatever takings I make, isn't it? Okay. I think by the time I've edited all this sewing footage, this video is going to be more than long enough. So it will probably be tomorrow night by the time I edit it and publish it. So that's Sunday evening for you guys. And I'll sign off here and say thank you very much for watching once again. Hope you enjoyed my makes and my struggles. Just to prove that we're all human, right? We all make mistakes and we all struggle with certain things, even though we've been sewing since we were 15. So there you go. I'll talk to you again very soon. Have a wonderful week. Bye for now.